My name is Maddie Mills Craig, and this is my midterm video for Marketing 300. And so, one of the things that I didn't learn before I was in this course was that, well, a lot of it was actually the distribution process and the market research. I kind of knew about it beforehand, but I didn't really understand how in-depth and how complex those two topics are. And so, like, for the distribution process, I guess I kind of knew it, but I didn't fully understand how complicated it is to have everything produced in one area and then to have it distributed to all across the world or all across where your market is. And so I didn't know that trains were still honestly as in use as they were back in the day. As silly as that sounds, I didn't realize that. I knew they were fast, but I didn't realize that they're still very commonly used. And I also didn't realize that the boats were as slow as they described in the text. And then another thing I learned was that governments really influence how a market operates, especially the distribution process. Another thing I didn't really know that this course has taught me was the product life cycle. I didn't realize that a product had a full life cycle and you could actually chart it, and there was different things you could do in each life cycle, like how each product is a market introduction, a market growth, market maturity, and a sales decline. And I thought it was really interesting in the chapter that covered it about how in market maturity, some really successful companies are able to put a spin on it that almost gives it a new growth, and I thought that was really interesting. And then another thing I really thought was cool was the market introduction, the market research, sorry. And I didn't realize there's so many different ways for a company to learn about their audience. Some of it I thought was actually incredibly invasive, but some of it I thought was pretty beneficial. One of the ones I thought was very invasive was, I think, was the most recent chapter in chapter 12, when they talked about how websites have cookies that can, it almost sounds like it hacks into your Facebook, and it can actually track your location as you move around. And so that I thought was almost unethical, because usually they talk about gathering data on their customers as being very unknown, as being that customer just being a number. But I think when you attach an actual location and you can pinpoint where they go, I think that's going beyond that customer being a random individual. And so I thought that was very invasive. I didn't like that as much. But the market research that I did think was really helpful was the focus groups. And that was about how you can get a group of people together and you can get into more in-depth discussion to learn about better ways to improve your product and that kind of stuff. And then I also didn't know about there's like 4 dimensions of big data, which is volume, variety, velocity, and veracity. And the one I thought was really interesting about that was veracity, which was about taking into account that the data isn't as accurate as you would hope it would be. So that was some things that I learned in the course. I learned a lot in the course, actually. But some things that I already knew that the course kind of went more into was that how the different competitions or the different kind of markets they're out there, such as monopolistic competition, they went more in depth about that one than the other ones. And I thought that one, I knew about that one before, and it kind of went more into how most products are very similar, they just kind of differ slightly. And then one way I can apply everything I learned in this course to my future career is I actually want to go into international business more, or marketing, where I would help a company establish themselves in an international market. And this course did a really good job going over that. And so it showed me how important it is to understand the market you are trying to sell your products in, because any small or miscalculation about the market could completely ruin your chances in the company completely. And so I thought it was really interesting because it showed me how important understanding culture is, along with like the language barriers and that kind of stuff. And then one thing I really liked about this class is I can work at my own pace, and the assignments are very straightforward. I don't like how I can't discuss with my peers as much, though. That's my only downfall. Thank you.